Hey, what's up guys, Ollie here. So I pre-ordered the iPhone XS the other day. I put it on Twitter that I pre-ordered it, and I had a few questions about why I went for the 64GB model instead of, say, the 256 or the 512. There is a good reason for that, and I think it's actually a good reason that a lot of people could sort of benefit from. So I'm going to go with US pricing here, mainly because I know most of you guys who watch my videos are from the US. So yeah, I'm going to go with US pricing. So the iPhone XS starts at $999 for the 64GB model. Now the 512 model is actually $1,349. So that's a good $350 difference for just to upgrade from 64GB to 512GB of capacity on your phone. So if you went for the 64GB model, you'd save a good chunk of money. Most of the time, the people who are upgrading to, say, a 256 or a 512GB capacity model are mainly upgrading because they want the storage for photos and videos. Now, I don't think actually a lot of people take advantage of iCloud storage. iCloud storage is actually super useful and incredibly convenient. You know, you can save a lot of money using it. And that is the reason why I went for the 64GB model, mainly because I store most of my photos and most of my videos in iCloud. Now I've got the figures here on my phone for iCloud storage and the cost of getting iCloud storage. So 50GB is 99 cents a month, so $1 a month. If you keep an iPhone for 2 years, say, you're only going to be spending $24 over 2 years to have 50GB of iCloud storage. If you went with 200GB, it's $2.99 a month. That's nearly $72 over 2 years. And if you went with 2TB, which is a hell of a lot of storage, that is $10 a month, and over 2 years, that's $240. So if you went for the 2TB version, which is obviously 4 times as much storage as the 512GB iPhone, you're only going to be spending $240 over 2 years. You're not going to be spending $350. Usually Apple are known for overcharging things. There's no doubting that. You know, Apple do overcharge for some things. But when it comes to their cloud storage solutions, they're actually very much in line with most of the other cloud storage solutions out there, such as Dropbox and Google Drive and other services like that. And you've also got to remember you're getting all the software that works behind the scenes. And I think a lot of people sort of forget and undervalue that. Writing good software that works all the time is really, really difficult, trust me. Now, there are a couple of reasons to go with iCloud storage instead of upgrading your iPhone to a larger capacity model. One of them being end-to-end encryption. So all of your data is encrypted end to end. You know, no one can access that data unless they actually get to your phone or they get into your iCloud account. You know, not even Apple can access that. It's the highest level of security that they have. So it's good to know that your data is always safe and that people can't just look at it whenever they want to. The syncing process for iCloud photos is absolutely seamless. Once you've got it all set up, and it's very, very easy to set up, it's only just a few toggles, and I think it's actually set up by default when you get a new iPhone. The syncing process is just amazing. You know, whenever you take photos, whenever you take videos and you have them on your phone, even if you've been sent other photos and videos, of course, anything in your camera roll, it will automatically be uploaded via Wi-Fi, but only when you're connected to Wi-Fi. You can, of course, toggle it so it uploads via mobile data, but I think that'd be a big mistake because you'll be using a lot of your mobile data and you don't want to be incurring any crazy charges. It syncs in the background too, unlike Dropbox or Google Photos, where you've got to open the apps up to actually start the syncing process. iCloud automatically does it all in the background, so you don't have to worry about a thing. You can access your photos from any Apple device, so if you have an iPad, an iPhone, a MacBook, all of your photos will be synced across all of those devices. And of course, you can access your photos through the iCloud website. The Photos app on the iPhone also does an incredible job of optimizing your photos for storage on your iPhone. So for example, I have the 64GB iPhone 10, but I have around 50 to 60GB worth of photos. So what the Photos app does is that it keeps low resolution copies of your photos on your phone so you can see them in your camera roll. But once you tap on a photo, it automatically downloads the original copy so you can see the high resolution version on your phone. And this of course works with videos too. It's a really neat and clever way to actually save storage in an iPhone and keep your original photos in iCloud. Every file is also its original quality. Apple doesn't have any limits, unlike Google Photos. Google Photos limits you to 16 megapixel photos and 1080p video. Apple will let you upload pretty much any resolution photo, any resolution video. So yeah, you can be safe knowing that all of your photos, all of your videos will always keep their original quality. Most importantly though, and I think this is a feature that a lot of people will benefit from, I know I personally do, this is probably the biggest feature, the most important feature for me, and it's that everything is in the cloud. It means that if I lose my phone, if I lose my laptop, if I lose my iPad, I know that my photos and videos haven't got anywhere. You know, I've built up so many photos and videos over the years, so many memories, and I want to be able to keep them safe all the time. So knowing that they're always in the cloud, knowing that if I lose my iPhone, I won't lose my photos, it's just a really good reassurance. Apple does also let you keep a hard copy of all of your photos and all of your videos too. So for example, on the Photos app on the Mac, you can have it download all the original copies of photos and videos and then have that photos sort of library on an external hard drive. And you can obviously back up that external hard drive, have copies of that too. So you can pretty much have unlimited backups of all of your stuff, and you'll also have access to it in the cloud. You'll be able to access your photos and videos from anywhere, have physical copies whenever you need to. Really, in the event of something catastrophic, for example, if Apple's data centers go down, you can still have a copy of your whole photos library on your Mac on an external hard drive, so you can always have access to it whenever you need to. Hopefully that helps you in choosing the capacity that you choose for your iPhone, because I think iCloud is a great service. I think having cloud backups of all of your stuff, all of your photos and videos, is more important than having a larger capacity iPhone. And of course you save quite a bit of money too. But of course everyone's use case differs. You know, if you're someone who likes to have lots of videos on your iPhone, lots of movies, lots of photos, and you know, you like to have them sort of available offline, then yeah, higher capacity iPhone is going to be more suitable for you. But with most of us having access to the internet pretty much everywhere, having Wi-Fi available in most places, you know, I think most people don't actually need the higher capacity iPhones. I know that from using the 64GB model, I've probably only used 30 to 40 gigs of data, even though I have over 4,000 photos and videos in my iCloud library. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe, because I do have the iPhone XS and XS Max videos coming. I'm just waiting for them to be delivered. And of course I'll have videos on the Apple Watch Series 4. So yeah, watch out for those. Thanks for watching.